Good afternoon. Everyone is doing great today. This camera is a little bit high, I think, because I moved things down. So I'm going to move this down just a little bit here. Let's see how that looks. That's a little better. I don't want to be so high that you can't see what I'm doing here. Let's see. Just getting set up here. All right. I would like to, if I can, put my little, I've got a little table down here. I want to put this on an angle, I think. I'm going to try to do that. It'll help me see things a little bit better. There we go. That way, if people have comments, things that they want to say, it'll be a lot easier for me to see. All right, welcome. So we're going to continue this today. I don't know where I'm going to put this. I don't really like this where it's at. Boy, I am all over the place with my stuff here, right? I'm going to put this over here. I'm going to put this where it should be over here. Lots of things going on here. All right, I didn't show up yesterday. Sorry. But I did work a little bit more while what was it, Wednesday night. So I did work a little bit more Wednesday night. So this is my first return back to it, and I kind of did this section up to here. And I'm thinking it looks pretty good. All that I did was I added sort of the dark in between all the rocks. And I'm pretty happy with that, I think. So I'm going to continue doing that today. And then hopefully over the weekend I'll have some brand new stuff for you guys to check out. I'm going to switch to a 1 day a week broadcast, I think. That day is yet to be determined. But once I do determine it, I'm going to do my best to stick with it. So let me check this this camera way up here. Let's just smooth that over just a little bit. There we go. We don't need to see that. Gotta move these down a little closer. There we go. Excuse me and my throat clearing. All right, so like I said, we're going to work with this little stuff here. First thing I'm going to do is I had just a little bit of color that I mixed the other day, but that looks pretty dried up to me. So I'm just going to mix a little bit more, and I'm actually going to put some fresh paint on the palette. So I need, let's see, this is raw umber. Did I use burnt umber or raw umber? I feel like I used burnt umber. So let's do that. I'm just going to put it right over here. I need a bit of it. It's probably more than I need, but that's okay. That's okay. Yay. All right, I'm going to mix some black with it. Hopefully that's not too much. I'm going to add some white to it also. As I always say, I do whatever I can to stay away from pure black. I mean, that's pretty dark right there, but as soon as I add a little bit of light white, that will, it adds atmosphere, you know, to just lighten things up just a hint. It's like looking through, you know, when you look through a long distance away on a hot summer day and it's all hazy. It's kind of like adding haze, right? The atmosphere is all around us, so that haze is kind of always present in a way. I think that's good right there. Dark, but not black. It might look black in that screen. I hope it doesn't look too black, but it's really a very dark brown. Wipe that off. It's hard for me to tell what areas I've used on this before and what I haven't. All right. That's really all we're going to do today. Is we're just going to plug away at that. And welcome if you're just joining me. Nice to meet you. You may have noticed, if you're a regular here, I have changed the name of my channel. So I signed my work J.A. Crouch. So I thought, you know what? Let's get rid of the art class. That's really not what I'm doing. It's what I thought I was going to be doing, but it's really not. So we're changing it to just J.A. Crouch Art. All right, a little bit of that. So I'm just going to keep reaching into that. That's really all that I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to switch my glasses because I am blind and there's a lot going on here. So let's get you up to speed here. So like I said, for the most part, and if you're looking at this, this is a photograph. This is the actual painting. So we're working from the photograph, and I'm just working on the stones at the bottom here. So I'll try to keep an eye on the chat. Feel free to talk or not. It's really up to you. So the hardest part I found about this is keeping track of where I am. It's really not as important as like to put every little bit of stone in there. That's not a necessity so much. Some of it I want to put in there, absolutely. But some of it can be essentially made up. As I say about a lot of things, nobody's going to investigate these stones and say whether or not I painted them completely accurately. I'm not going for completely accurate. I'm going for a reasonable representation of these stones, right? So I'm okay with a little inaccuracy. It doesn't matter that much. And I'll probably come back through this a few times. I don't want to say a number of times. That's I'll come back and touch this up more later on. I might even need a slightly... This is pretty dark, but I guess it's pretty dark over there, and I kind of liked that. I think I need to put some more over here, though. Anyways, this is probably the dullest thing any artist could ever put on live stream. Watch me paint rocks. It kind of cracks me up that I'm doing it. But, you know, come and hang out. Watch me paint rocks. Tell your friends. Tell your family. Come and watch me paint rocks. I won't be doing this for long. I've got plans for what I hope will be some exciting paintings. So there is that. Now I've got that song in my head. I was sitting here when I first went live. I said, "And give me a moment." There's a song by In Excess. that I quite like the song, except now it's in my head and it won't go away. At least it's a good song. It's annoying when you have a song in your head that's really garbage, right? Alright, where am I at here? I just keep going back and forth, looking at the photograph, looking at the canvas, and oh, nobody's there, so I'll keep my mouth shut until somebody shows up. Just paint away. I did change the name of the channel. I am. I made an executive decision that while I am fine, you know, with teaching and all that, that's really not what I'm doing here anymore. It's not my goal anymore. So I'm trying to flow with it. I signed my art J.A. Crouch, so J.A. Crouch art. It makes sense to me. But welcome back. Nice to see you. I hope you're having a great day. And I hope you are excited about painting rocks. It's so crazy. Oh, man. Things we do. Let's see. So I'm trying to compare things and see where I am, and it is not always easy to remember where I was. And boy, my eyes keep bugging out. I worked a little bit longer Wednesday night. So you can see I'm focusing on sort of the space between the rocks now. Clothing folds, yep. I love fabric and drapery and all that kind of stuff. It's a lot more easier than rocks. Yeah, well, I mean, as always, please share. If you post it somewhere, please send me the link. If you can send it to me through Instagram. All my channels are in my bio, whatever you call it. So please share as you create. No, I don't know. It's something that I can understand. People who like it, people who don't like. I guess everybody's got their thing, right? I've done quite a bit of portraiture and stuff like that, but it's not what I enjoy doing. You know, I used to give friends portraits, wedding portraits. So when they got married, I'd promise them a portrait. But I don't really like doing it. It's not my favorite thing in the world. Oh, where am I at? Okay, we'll start here and we'll move back. So right here in the center, there's a little thing here. And happy Friday, right? I am happy that it's Friday. It has been extra special, frustrating at work this week, so I'm looking forward to doing something different. So Sunday I'm going to go out and I'm going to drive around and I'm going to pick an area and find things to photograph. Hopefully, yeah, happy Friday. Hopefully, as I find things to photograph, those will be things that I paint. But we shall see. That's my goal. I tend to, when I'm driving around or you know, traveling around, whatever, I don't often have a camera with me, except for my cell phone, and it doesn't really it's not really the best phone to be taking quality photos with. So I've got a nice camera set up that I do enjoy using, but I don't always have it with me. So when I drive by something, I try to remember where it is, because when I see something, and I tend to get inspired by things that I see as I drive around. I love old things. I love, I live in New England, so, I've lived here all my life. I really enjoy the seasons. I enjoy the history of the area. I enjoy the age of old houses and buildings, and there's a nostalgia about it, even if it's something that I haven't personally been involved with. It feels nostalgic. Seeing old ice cream shops and stuff like that, and the shoreline. I love the boats. So that's where I'm hoping to find things to paint that are iconically New England in a way. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, my first nice camera, believe it or not, was a T1i, if you can believe it. I bought, and I still have it, and it still works great, to be honest with you. But recently, in the last couple of years, I upgraded to a very nice, what is it? Canon D5 Mark IV. I think that's what it is. Beautiful camera, takes great shots, full frame. T3, yeah. Yeah, I saw that you got the T7. Yeah, so it's basically the same. It's this year's version, or whenever it came out, that year's version of the same camera. And it's funny, the price never increases. It's always $500 no matter what year you purchased it. It's kind of interesting, but it's a full function camera. It's not a full frame camera. What do they call it? APC or something like that. It's a different kind of sensor, a smaller sensor. But still, DSLR, great camera. Yeah, full frames are absolutely wonderful. When you can, go for it. I actually bought mine through Amazon as a refurbished camera, and it came in an original box. It looks brand new. It feels brand new, and it's taken some great pictures. And it was about half the cost of a new one. So refurbished, if you can find a decent one. I've bought a number of refurbished things. I highly recommend going that route. Yeah, CMOS sensor. Thank you. Could not remember. All right, I feel like I'm losing my grasp of what I'm supposed to be doing here. So let me kind of back up a little bit because I feel like it's starting to look a little different here and there. So let's back up to this spot right here. This is a little different here. Get some of those shapes in that I can see. Yeah, my sons are involved in a number of activities, so I often take my camera out. I actually got my camera all set for this weekend. Let me show you. I'll show you my stuff. I got good stuff. It's good to have stuff. It's right out. Let me get my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. All right. All right. So this is my camera bag. It's a great bag, nice and big. K&F Concepts is the bag, you know. But it's a nice backpack, and the back is what opens up. So when you're walking around, you don't have to worry about somebody, you know, trying to pickpocket your expensive stuff. So, which is really nice. So what do I got in here? Let me show you. This is, so I've got here's my D5 or 5D. I said D5 earlier. So yeah, this is full frame 5D camera, Mark IV, whatever it's called. So I've got that. Let me put the battery in because I took it out to charge it yesterday. There we go. And it's got two different memory chips in it, which is nice. So I could take like several thousands of pictures depending on how I put it. And I love this this strap. I can't remember. Oh, Peak Design. I love the strap. So if it's great because it's got this really cool kind of quick. So it locks, but then when you want to change it, you just pull on that and lock it back in. So it's easy to kind of switch and change sizes and adjust it depending on what you're doing. Because I like to put my camera around one shoulder and let it hang at my hip while I'm walking around. And so this allows me to do that really easily. And so what else do I got in here? So I've got several lenses. So I've got my regular everyday lens, which is, this is a 24 to 70, yeah, 24 to 70, 2.8, which is a great standard lens, everyday lens kind of thing. It's got a nice hood on it, so it's great, right? This is a Sigma. I really like Sigma lenses because they're less expensive than Canon lenses. And I do have a Canon wide-angle lens. This is 17 to 40, so 17 gets pretty wide. On my T1i, I've got, I think it goes down to 11 to 28 or something like that, or 11 to 24. That's really wide, but I never. Can I put, no, I can't put it on this camera because it's the what do you call it? EF, not EF. I don't know. There's a different type of. There's two types of lenses. One with the metal bracket here, and the plastic ones go on the T models or the not full frame. Somewhere, and I got a bunch of. You know, covers and everything. Somewhere not in the bag, I don't see it, is I've got a little 50 millimeter lens, but this is my big daddy right here. I love this lens and I use it all the time. This is a Sigma 150 to 600. And let's see if I can get that on. Yeah, 150 to 600 millimeters. So if I unlock it, check this out. Ready? That's 600 millimeters. Crazy long. It's not the fastest lens in the world, but with kids doing sports and other activities, I can be on the other side of the field and get really close. And if the lighting is okay, I can get some pretty good action shots. So that's my camera bag. I think that's everything. Yeah, that's everything for the most part. So thought I'd share. Oh, I got a lot of stuff going on. Wow. So full frame Dream, CMOS sensor, right? I don't party or spend money on girl stuff. I buy cameras and PC parts and art supplies. Nice. I have a backpack too. Yeah, love it for transport. Extra money, extra memory. Yeah, is awesome. There have been times when I'm like photographing an event that my kids are at, and I'll go through 1,000 photos easy. Extra batteries too. I only have one battery, but I've got a plug-in adapter, so I can. It's like a battery that you can plug in, which is kind of cool. 50 millimeter 2.8. Yeah, that's mine. Actually, might be 1.4, but it's 50 millimeter. Got a wide angle 300 millimeter telephoto. Yeah, Sigma's great. It's me walking around. Yeah, it makes you feel special, right? When you have that massive lens on there. Yeah, I've done some photograph. I've actually gotten into astrophotography a little bit. I've taken some Milky Way photos. I've gotten the Andromeda Galaxy. I've gotten some nebula, but I'm not really good at it. A lot of times things are blurry and stuff. It's really hard to do astrophotography, but getting better at it. I'll show you what, if you want to do astrophotography, I'll show you what you should get. So this little machine sits on top of your tripod, right? So this is specifically made for astrophotography. It's a dual axis system. So let me make sure this is so you can see. So you set your camera up here, right? And your camera is kind of hanging out, and so your camera can spin this way, and then the whole thing will spin of the rate of the rotation of the Earth. So it will keep track of your photos of what you're taking a photo with, so it doesn't get blurry. A little hard to use sometimes. I'm still figuring it out, but it's a lot of fun. That thing's called a sky watcher, by the way. Okay, moving on. I gotta keep painting. You distracted me thoroughly, but that's okay. I'm painting rocks, so I can afford to get a little distracted. I need to take my eyes off it every now and then. All right, let's see where we are. What looks good, what doesn't. I feel like it's looking okay here, but then I feel like it gets all choppy right there. Right in here. Sometimes I want to back up and kind of just paint a little. I'll even keep my glasses off for a second and paint a little like this. And any big stuff that stands out, I can kind of maybe get a little better. Mm-hmm. So I've got a program through my work that if I keep track of some health things through one of their apps, they reward you with kind of a gift certificate of your choice. And so what I do is I tend to use that gift certificate to make a purchase. Often camera equipment. That Skywatcher I purchased with it. Some of those lenses I purchased with it. But it's a nice way to add to my addiction without going broke. Because all this stuff costs money, right? So you've got to find a way to support yourself and excuse me. Someone once told me the most important thing is to take care of yourself before you take care of anybody else. It's kind of like the old adage of if you're on a plane, you put your own mask on first. If those oxygen masks come down, you put your mask on before you put other people's masks on. That way you can help them. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody else. So I do a little bit of taking care of myself, and then I take care of other people for the most part. There are times when I do that a lot. I put other people before myself a lot. Yep, very true, right? All right, I'll put these glasses back on. I'm going to have to, I don't know, some of this stuff I'm not completely thrilled with. I feel like I need to go back in there with some other colors on top of that, but maybe I'll do that afterwards. Maybe some of these areas I didn't completely go through as much as I should have. That's all right. I can't, you got to make a decision, move forward, right? That's my mantra. Make a decision, move forward. I saw there was someone, there was several people actually, who were really upset on Threads. I belong to a couple of artist Instagram threads. And I always see people who are, feeling bad about something and being stuck on their art, and boy, they're really upset with life. And how do they get out of this, and how do they deal with, well, I'll tell you how you deal with things is you make a decision and you move forward. You act on your decision, and that's it. And whatever happens, happens. Can't live on what ifs. You can't live on, maybes or hopes and wishes. You just have to do something. If you're having an artist block of some sort, well, pick up a pencil and draw anything. Draw what's in front of you. Draw your foot. Draw your hand. just stop the complaining and do something about it. Everybody gets wrapped up in complaining, though. It's too easy to complain about things. Even for me, it's too easy, and it doesn't get me anywhere. So what's the point? Yep. Be the glue. Make a decision. Move forward. Make a decision, move forward. That's all you can do. And not every decision is going to work out. That's okay too. That's called life. That's called life, people. Yeah. I'll tell you, the only regrets I've ever had in life are the ones where I chose to not do something. I never regretted trying something. I never regretted putting my neck out there. Yeah, exactly. Making mistakes is absolutely growth. It's how you learn, right? You can't learn without making mistakes. You can't. No one's perfect, and if you were perfect, then I don't know. You wouldn't make mistakes, and life would be boring. You know. Personally, I think that would be crazy boring to have a life without mistakes. Then there's no risk. There's no excitement. There's no chances. You know what's going to happen, right? Risk is exciting, to me anyways. Stresses me out, sure, but it's also the thing that drives me, you know, like if I'm not taking a risk, then I'm just following the rest of the sheep. That's I don't want to be like the rest of the sheep. Anyway, I can't complain too much. I've had a good life, I suppose. I can't say I haven't. And I'm making progress here, even though I have no idea what I'm doing. That is the true meaning of being an artist, having no idea what you're doing and doing it anyways. Figuring it out as you go. So what else should we talk about today? What's on your minds out there in internet land, live streaming land? Yep. Nobody gains anything by that. Absolutely true. That's funny. I'm assuming you're talking about a digital pencil of some sort. Yeah. Cool. Um, yeah, I used to have a digital pencil, a Wacom, I believe it was. I was okay with it. I always wanted one that was, in which, you're using your, I think you said an iPad for your screen. I always wanted one of those really big, creative screens. But the more I spend so much time on technology that I'm pretty tired of it. So I'm moving away from some of that technology, I think. We'll see how it goes, but some things you need it, but I feel like there's a lot of things that I don't need it so much anymore. Trying to get back to basics. I remember days of no cell phones, no internet, and we didn't need them until suddenly we did, I guess. And I have enjoyed. My livelihood has depended greatly on a lot of that technology, right? So I really can't complain about it because I don't know where I'd be without it, to be honest with you. But I also miss those days of just, if you went out, nobody could call you, nobody could contact you. They'd have to wait till you get home. You couldn't even leave me a message for years. Just gotta wait, call back again. Now nobody can wait for anything. They need it now. Need it now. Yeah, I get that too. So there's different purposes for it all, right? So you have to do what's right for you. There's not much else to say about it. Just I don't. I try not to put down anyone for their style of creativity, right? Or the method that they do their creativity, right? That would be like saying music is better than painting, or dance is better than music, or whatever. It's all art. It's all expression. It's all to each his own. And with with luck, someone will be drawn to your form of expression, right? I had an interesting online chat thread conversation with someone recently. I believe they're yeah, that's a funny point. Yeah, I don't want to spend an hour. I cook everything, almost everything that I eat. Maybe I'll go out once a week, but I just cooked my lunch. I had a beautiful salmon fillet with a sweet potato for lunch. Cooked it all myself. It was delicious, and it was pretty quick. It took me 10 minutes to make. That's how I like to roll. But back to my conversation. So I was having a conversation with a woman. I think she's some sort of, or at least making an attempt to be some sort of arts. I don't know if guide is the right word. Kind of a how to make a living at being an artist. And she was giving advice, and arts advice, I guess you could say. We'll call it that. And she was nice about things, but she said something. She was giving advice about do this if you want to be noticed, and she did some sort of study and was published. Her study was published somewhere about she took a look at 1,000 different artists in mid-career and kind of gauged who was successful, who wasn't as successful as they wanted to be, and things like that. And my whole point, anyways, long story short, I've done some small time shows here and there, and that's fine. I'd like to get a little bigger, but at the same time, the issue with artists, there's a few issues with artists. One, artists are weird. Artists are their own beast, and every one of them is a little bit different, so they're hard to figure out. They tend to be, the ones who are really successful tend to be fairly type A people. I don't want to say narcissistic, but they tend to, be okay with putting themselves out there and getting refused, and they just go knocking on the next door, right? Or they've got an in from, a relative or something like that, or they've got a ton of money and they put on their own shows. So but the majority of artists, I think, are pretty introverted, and they don't want to put themselves out there. They're scared to put themselves out there because it is so personal what they're doing, and to get refused or doors shut in your face hurts greatly for some artists. So that's one issue with becoming successful as an artist. Another issue is that if you took, now I see a lot of, everybody does, there's a lot of good and a lot of bad in terms of artwork that we see on a regular basis. If you belong to any types of art channels or art threads, you're going to find really, really good artists. You're going to find really, really bad artists who are still trying to make money with their art. Unfortunately, they don't. I think there's a lot of people out there who don't realize how other people see their work. But let's focus on the really good artists. So if you were to give representation to every single good artist in the world, there would be a massive oversaturation of artwork, and it would severely diminish the cost of artwork. So you've got to control the market as well. So the art market is based on, the not necessarily the best of the best, but the people who can get representation, because everybody can't get representation. Everybody can't have solo shows because there's not enough places to do solo shows. There's not enough audience to do solo shows for everybody. So some of us just have to deal with the fact that, it's kind of like becoming famous in general. Not everyone can be a famous artist because there's no room for everyone to be a famous artist. But she was nice. She agreed with me to some degree. I think that there's some tricks that people can use to getting themselves out there. But I think part of it is just having that personality where you're okay with getting turned down. Anyways, nobody's here right now. Apparently, my rocks have bored them. Oh, brother. Oh, there you are. It only says one watching. That's weird. Usually it says two when somebody's here. Oh, there you are again. Maybe you snuck out and snuck back in without telling me. Anyways. My beautiful rocks will forever be loved in my living room. Most likely. That's where they'll end up. Or maybe I'll give them to somebody someday. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see who loves it, who doesn't. Yeah. I would say I'm a type B also. I'm fairly, I know I can get online. I can talk to anybody pretty easily, but I don't generally initiate conversation. I prefer to be alone, not isolated, but I'm certainly not type A. I like to say I'm a closet closet introvert, closet extrovert. Now I can't decide which one is in the closet. I am a closet extrovert. In other words, I like being out there. I like putting myself out there, but I prefer to keep to myself, I guess. But sometimes there's a few situations, yeah, I'm a closet extrovert. There's a few situations that I am okay being really bold. I've played in bands, and so being up there on stage and singing your heart out is, to me, is a fairly type A activity, right? But for me, it was very It was a little different for some reason, I guess. So I like doing that, but it's not my nature to do that. I guess that's the way to put it. I like doing it. It's not my nature. I like, well, that's a difficult, I don't want to say something that I regret, right? I like people. I prefer being alone. If I have to get up in front of people, I prefer it to be strangers. That's, I'll leave that at that. There's definitely different nuances in there that I won't get too much into on a public channel like this. So I was hoping to finish this today. I got sidetracked yesterday with work, so I don't think I'll be finishing this today. Maybe I'll work on it over the weekend. As far as the rocks are concerned, I've got a lot more work to do outside of the rocks. Obviously the rest of this is not anywhere near done. So, but we're getting closer. I'm a heck of a lot closer than I was at the beginning of the week. So that's a good thing, right? I think I'm putting too much of this in between the rocks, so I feel like I definitely will have to go over this again with some of those colors that I used earlier. Some of that the rock color, the lighter colors. What's next after this is going to be the things that I take photographs of this weekend. Some of the things, and that's going to be my main focus, is looking for some of those nostalgic things that I find generally in the area that I live. I'll say New England type things. So I've got some exploring to do, figuring out exactly what those subjects are. This is one of those. This is a painting like that where I was inspired by just where I was at the moment, and I really liked the scene. It's kind of kicking my butt right now, but that's what will be next. So hopefully, maybe not next week, but the week after, I will start, and I'll be doing primarily studies on my channel. The finished work, the actual full-size work that I'm going to be doing, I will probably wait to show that. So my goal is to get some shows done and get some people interested in my work. So if I can do that, I will share those shows, where they're going to be, and I'll invite everybody who wants to come, and that will be That's sort of my grand evil plan, right? All right, I'm gonna stop here. My eyes are getting pretty buggy. It's coming along. Let's back up and take a look what we have here. See if I'm doing okay or not. Yeah, it's okay. Like I said, this is, I like in between here, like I feel like I did a good job in these spots here. And it starts out okay here, but I feel like the further I get, the more choppy it feels. It doesn't feel like, it feels like these shadows are on top, which they are, and I think that's the problem. So I'm going to need to go back on top of those and kind of paint those rocks to some degree again. But that's what we do. We just keep building it until it fits what we want it to fit. It's okay. It's okay. It's a lot of work. I'm getting tired of rocks, I'll tell you that. Anyways, I'm going to stop there. And let's see, what do you got here? I think once my portrait's done, I'm going to try a snowy landscape. Cool. Do you have, hopefully you have some pictures. You're taking some pictures of some snow. I'll show, I'll spend some time at some point showing some of my, a couple of my older pieces that I have upstairs. So maybe I'll do a little bit of that as well. Kind of sharing that because you remind me of a barn that I have with just a little bit of snow on it, that I always liked. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna go. So have a great weekend because it's Friday. So have a great weekend. And I'll see you hopefully next week. I'll start setting up a schedule. I'm going to be doing 1 day a week live. The rest of the time is going to be small posts here and there, kind of sharing my progress of things or my adventure of things, I guess. I'm not exactly sure. We got to figure this out. So it's a little bit moving all over the place. Oh, you're in Quebec. For some reason, I thought you were in New Jersey. But have a great weekend and happy painting. Bye. I'm going to have to change the screen because it's no longer art class. But that's okay. Have a great weekend.